Uh, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of Syrian truth. Yeah. Got this article on RT. It's kind of covering what's it called? In Switzerland. It's really been happening all over Europe. And it's kind of been consistent for the last couple of weeks. Last few weeks. Really since like start of the year when they kind of did the fresh lockdowns. They've been rebelling against it. They've been resistant. Especially over here in Europe. It's kind of in Europe I can't really it's been a main a lot of resistance because here it's kind of just been dipping in and out, and it's like with France, Germany, Spain as well. I think Spain as well because they said Barcelona. Man, out there we're just not regarding it, but it's why, because it's been over a year, and really like people were kind of expecting it to have tapered off by around now, and it's looking like that's not going to be a point in time that comes. So yeah, they're getting resistant. Let me play this, so I think it's just a little bit of the clip. I think it's got a full one further down. Yeah, ain't really anything. So it says over 20 detained as police use rubber bullets and tear gas to quell rioting in Switzerland. So yeah, that's the thing. It's funny because they're pushing through this legislation now in the UK to do some things like essentially give them more capabilities against what's it called? More capabilities against protesters. And here it is, straight up calling them rioters. Yeah. Says the police used rubber bullets against rioters who hurled bottles and Molotov cocktails in the northeastern Swiss city of St. Gallen on Saturday. More than 30 people were temporarily banned from entering the city. Fucking hell, man got temporarily banned from entering the city. It's kind of wild, because that's the thing is the punishments that Esau's able to do. That's the thing, is like just through the process of this whole lockdown, it's been intensifying. Because I remember when it first started, like those guys that told me, it's like they said like as cops they were disincentivized from handing out fines. They were more just kind of meant to be like, hey, look, unless a person doesn't leave the area or airs you off like 3 times or something, then you don't really want to fine them. But then like now in a more recent one, you're seeing stories of people getting fined for light things. So it's the intensities is a bit different, and that's how you've you've really seen it be going. It's the intensity's different, and then that means the resistance as well from people is different as well, which is real interesting, because it shows how the elites are kind of looking to make this thing go, man. To make that dissent that you're getting is going to be utilized as a kind of justification for, we need more police powers. We need people need to get in line with XYZ certain programs, because we had too much resistance. That looks like the angle they're looking to use, because especially for Europe, they're kind of making it a standard for like the Maxime passport, and that's something that's been trialed in the UK. UK is doing their own thing there. They're trialing that, but it's going to be standardized there. And it's like they said, the state of Israel, them guys have also been talking to certain countries in Europe and kind of standardizing it between them how they're going to do it. And it looks like the in the States as well, they're looking to make a federal vaccine passport as well, because they've done it in LA, they've done it in New York, but they said they're looking to do one on the federal level, just so it covers the whole country, and it's everyone's in accord. And then that's, that system of it's all these things are being accepted and normalized, because you had a lot of stories coming out. You had the prime minister of Argentina. He got the vaccine from Russia, and he got reinfected. You had they said like 100 cases of people getting reinfected. They're saying you need booster shots like every 6 months of the vaccine to basically be able to be out there. So it's essentially making the narrative that of what it's essentially making a narrative. My brain is not finding the words. That no matter what circumstance it gets into, there still needs to be some level of restriction, some level of restraint, and people need to be controlled and managed, even no matter what stage it gets to, because this thing is not going to be manageable otherwise. So then it's it normalizes everyone having to wear the mask, everyone having to screens everywhere, people having to socially all these different things. It's basically all those restraints that are it's getting people's minds in gear with that new world order approach, man, where they've got people dumbed down, people's minds are zapped, and they're basically having been drip fed little privileges by the elites. Because it's like, how during lockdown say, can you do one bit of exercise a day, and you can go out to the shops once. It's basically to give you a little one or two things you can do, and then otherwise you're on lock. You're basically in order. So this is what the riot broke out after around 1,000 young people gathered at the Rota Plaza Platz Square in the city centre. The agitated crowds attacked police and ambulance crews, hurling bottles of firecrackers and pavement stones. The officers responded by launching volleys of tear gas and firing rubber bullets. Let's see the actual footage. It's a tear gas there. Let's see if this. Okay, no, that's just an overhead view. Okay, so it says police said the rioters smashed a bus stop, started fires, threw a Molotov cocktail at the officers. St. Gallen Police Chief Ralph Herney told the reporters that 2 people were injured and 21 were detained. He added that 33 people came from other cities were temporarily banned from entering St. Gallen. So it's funny that that's in the scriptures. A man will desire to go into a city and won't be able. So that's like they're doing out there where they go. Where it's like you're not allowed to come in. Now it's funny. That's something they could pop off in London. London's built for restricting access, because you got the M25 that kind of rings it. But what I remember last summer. They had all the I think it was one of the BLM protests. They had a counter protest. Bunch of white boys came down from all over the country to so-called counter protest, and then they came in. They made a huge ruckus. So they might use those things there might get used as justifications for why restricting access, or they allow it to happen and then kind of afterwards say look, we're gonna have to have permanent kind of checks or whatever on who travels through, who's going through, for what reasons. Because that's the same thing. It's the same thing with travel. They're saying like, oh, even after you get the vaccine, you still have to you still can't travel, you still can't do what you want to do. So it's essentially just like all these restrictions aren't going anywhere, even though like it's meant to be the max was meant to be the super bomb. Now all of a sudden it's you know it's still hell. Okay, let's see this. Okay, so yeah, them man were doing them man were going fucking buck wild. Which is yeah, that's the thing is okay. Let me read this. It says a spokesperson for the city police, Roman Kohler, told the newspaper St. Gala Tagblatt that that there were calls on social media to start another riot on Sunday evening. It says officials and media linked Saturday's riot and a similar public disturbance last week to the growing frustration with C-19 restrictions. St. Gala Tagblatt quoted a 17-year-old president of riot as saying, "We will no longer allow ourselves to be locked up." We're getting it in. That's what the city's top security official, Sonia Luffy, condemned the violence in the strongest possible way, adding that police acted appropriately. St. Gallen Mayor Maria Papa said that the attacks on police officers were completely wrong and that the zero tolerance policy will continue. So yeah, it's really, the thing is that one was just kind of Utes fucking around. That one was just Utes fucking around. But that's the general energy, the general vibration that's been moving through Europe. That resistance to what's been going down. Because even with the UK, it's funny because they've got this was it timeline? I guess there's another word that I've forgotten, but essentially they've got this timeline of how they're looking. Timeline of how they're looking to unlock things. So it's like April 12th, which I think is next week. Yeah, April 12th, next week Monday. That they would they're looking to what you call it, to open like retail and I think outside certain shops. So it's like that, still being drip fed those little privileges by the elites. And that's like, I was thinking it's like, it seems to all kind of been like toning down, like as far as the resistance is toning down somewhat because it's opening back up. But then if certain things get pushed back or delayed, which is going to happen because they seem to be using the same thing. It's like they say, oh, let's lock down, then they open up and everything, cases go back up and like, no, we got to lock down again. So it just seems like they're kind of using that same cycle to drive people a bit loopy. Which is succeeding, but then it's kind of a wonder Like people are just eating it, and if we'll see if it gets pushed back, then it might just be like you get that big resistance again. But then it depends what the elites do off the back of it, because they're pushing through that legislation to give them more powers. Then you might see how that's executed, because it's like they might just go in and start bashing heads in next time, or just doing like mass arrests or whatever. There's a few ways it can go. So we read this First Thessalonians like 5:1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh. Yeah, and the peace and safety, everyone's thinking, oh, everything's going to open up, everything's going to go back to normal, we'll be able to enjoy ourselves, go on holidays, we're all going on a that summer holiday dream, is dead. Even what's his name? Boris said like, oh yeah, don't be booking your summer holidays. But bare people book summer holidays. Bare people. I think they said local like within the UK holidays, like holiday destinations were getting booked out. Because why? It's like everyone's been locked in their house. They're all thinking, I just want to have some bliss. Isn't that what life's about? Fun times. That's because that's really what they're out here believing, man. Life's about blissing it up, but they don't realize it's not the time of bliss. You go to what is it? Ecclesiastes 3. There's different times, man. Different seasons. So it's like what? Time for peace and a time for war. And now is that time for war, man. Now is that time of distress, that time of harshness, that time of judgment. And that's really what we're seeing out here, man. Ain't a time of bliss and enjoyment, because that's what everyone's been doing their utmost to do, but what ain't working out. And these elites are going to continue to bring the hammer down, man. It says, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Yeah. So for us, that's why we're watching as well as praying. Because why? We're seeing what's plain to observe. This is the time of the end, man. All the prophecies, all the judgments are pointing to when? To this time. The end of the end, man. The tail end, when this is all getting wrapped up. Yahushua, the son of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is getting ready to make his return. And it's going to be with power, with the chariots of heaven, man. Chariots of the Heavenly Father. So yeah, it's gonna be cold, man. And all this conflict, crisis is gonna continue. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, Yabashim Yashab, Shalom.